So today I shall be discussing this movie called The Fantastic, right there, Fantastic Four. Right. The Fantastic Four, right here. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, this is how it started way back in the day.
So, a little background. This movie kind of has a little bit of an interesting story right now. Now, it was never released, which means not very many people reviewed it. The Cinema Snob reviewed it. That's one, at least. But it was unreleased at the time it was made, 1994. I count this as a film, 1994. Now, basically, 20th Century Fox wanted to keep the rights to Fantastic Four. And that's also why they decided to make the other 3 movies. Because they wanted to keep the rights, okay? Don't fool yourself. That's why they did it. Now, Disney owns them, so I mean, good job, I guess. But they kind of just were like, yeah. Well, then they released it like a couple years later, eventually, and I don't think they released it on DVD. If they do, I'm pretty sure this is not an official copy. I know this is probably a bootleg, but it is a good bootleg, and the cover, is nice, like this. This is nice right here. That thing. Case is nice. The DVD isn't, just printed on, it's actually, look at that. It's actually got something on it. There's no ring around it like when you see in a normal DVD. There'll be a ring. There's not. There's some. There's no really beeps or anything. It's really nice. I'd say it's actually really good. The reason I think it's a bootleg though is whenever I load it up, it'll go to the main screen and then it'll play for 5 seconds, and then you can click for 5 seconds. You can do something on there for 5 seconds, and then it'll stop, it'll freeze for 5 seconds, and you won't be able to do anything for that, and then it'll reset the music, and then it'll do that over and over and over again. Now, since you're automatically on the first option, which is play, it's not really that hard. But if you want to watch some bonus material, it's a little hard to navigate, let's just say that. But the movie itself, now, for a budget of $1 million, I'd say it is actually really impressive. But let's go through the characters so far. Now, we've got the main dudes, Fantastic Four dudes. Okay, so we got the Thing, we got Mr. Fantastic, we got the Invisible Woman, and then we got Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, and then we also got Dr. Doom, who's one of the villains, and the other villains this new character called the Jeweler, but he is the exact same thing as Mole Man. I mean, literally. They have the rights to Mole Man, right? I feel it's the exact same character. Literally, the exact same. He looks the same. He, lives in a cave with, a ton of other people that he says, are homeless and, are outcasts. Now, there's a lot of problems with this movie. One of the main ones is Dr. Doom. Okay, basically 5 years ago, in the past, they were trying to like figure out this dude who's like this power sort of. I can't remember what it's called. And it's like the Storm in the Fantastic Four movies, like that's what it is, kind of like that. And they were like on Earth though, and they were trying to harness it from Earth, and then like the blast like killed Doctor Doom, or they thought it killed Doctor Doom, but it didn't actually kill Doctor Doom. But didn't give anyone superpowers yet. That comes later. Okay. And then Doctor Doom just becomes evil. Like, they try to shoehorn in, like, an explanation at, like, the end, which is like, oh, yeah, I was so jealous. You took this away from me. But, like, why, though? Both of you are trying to do the same thing. It's not like this guy would have immense, incredible wealth from doing it. If he would have, you probably would have gotten the same amount. So, is so dumb, but at least it's, I mean, I guess I haven't seen the newest Fantastic Four yet. I have a copy of it, though, and I'm really not excited to watch it, but I've seen the character design, and at least he looks better than them. Whoa. And, well, I mean, the reason that Johnny and Sue came on the mission is as dumb as ever. It's basically like, well, they wanted to come, so why not, right? Why not bring them into space? And, okay, well, this is one of my least favorite movies on my list so far. I've been ranking all the movies I've been seeing, and this is one of my least favorites right now. The only ones that's below it right now are the Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, like the 2005 Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, and Howard the Duck. Those are the only ones below it right now, because I don't like this movie. Now, usually I don't talk about music unless it's like either really good or like really bad, and this is like the worst score I've ever heard in my entire life. Now, I don't know why the score's so bad. Like, iMovie music sounds weird, but it's better than this. Like, if you ever gone iMovie and just, like, music, and it's like, if you, like, some of the music's genuinely actually really catchy. There's no words, but it's a good melody. But the score is just the worst score ever. First of all, there are, like, 4 pieces. One of them's like, ba, 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 ba. It's like one of those wooden, like, it's like a saxophone. It must be a saxophone or something. And he's just like, or it might be a flute or one, I don't know. I have no idea. But it just sounds so weird. And there's just like so much, just, the music is just so bad. And I'm telling you that, just, it is the worst part of the movie. Because there's no excuse for being that bad. Like, there are so many better, like, public domain musics you could have used. Even in 1940. Even in 1994. There's so much better music. Like, the music, by the way, is the most stereotypical, like, ever. It's not like it's just bad. Like, yeah, it is just bad music. Sometimes it doesn't fit the scenario, or sometimes it's, like, the stereotypical, like, music, like, oh, we're obviously trying to be sad. Like, that's what it sounds like. At least they have music, though. It's a step up from not having it. Actually, it kind of isn't, because I would have probably preferred it without. Now, there are, like, 1 or 2 scenes when, like, Thing beats up somebody, as some people, and it's just crazy, because, like, what they do is he's like supposed to be punching people, but like they don't actually show that. It's just like a still frame spinning around and around. Like, I'm not joking. Now, this is, to be honest, the story is so stereotypical. I honestly believe that it would be a better parody of a B movie than an actual B movie, because it's not like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which Attack the Killer Tomatoes. Attack of the Killer Tomato, whatever. Tomatoes. The makeup, especially for the Thing's not the worst. I've seen worse. The CGI is amazingly terrible, but they only had a $1 million budget, and it was made in 1994, so, like, even though it is, like, comically bad, I can give them a pass, because it's not like they had $1 million or something. So that's, like, if you want to see, like, that's what it looks like. That's not like a comic book picture. Like, that's actually what it looks like in the movie. Like, that's what the Human Torch looks like. I mean, it's pretty bad, but, like, I don't care. Most of the stuff, besides Johnny, because, like, they can't actually set him on fire, is, like, physical effects. Except for, I guess, yeah, Suit can. By the way, Suit doesn't have force fields, as far as I know. But, like, the Thing and Mr. Fantastic, they're all practical effects. So it's, it ages well. Let's just say that. And, also, they changed the Thing so, like, he can kind of control, like, whether he's in the Thing or not. Like, he can't really, but, like, sometimes he's in the Thing and then sometimes he's normal. Which is really weird, but whatever. And there's, like, the Thing's dialogue. First of all, the Thing, like, once he becomes the Thing, they just do, like, a complete 180, like, immediately. Like, he's a completely different character. He was more or less like Johnny Storm before he became the Thing. And then when he became the Thing, he just acted completely differently. Like, I know him being frustrated and being sad, but except for the occasional actually funny line, like, he is the only person that has a couple funny lines. But, this movie was really disappointing. Let's just say that. Now, I mean, I keep saying, let's just say that, but, I mean, Now, I guess I wasn't really going in with high expectations from a case like that. What the hell? That's terrible, but whatever. I wasn't going in with high expectations, but the expectations were kind of lower, especially because I've saw a couple of reviews. And I don't know, but some of the names were a bit hilarious, if I do say so myself. There was one guy that was like worst. Like, he did the music, and yeah, the soundtrack was the worst. I mean, if you want, you Sim Stomp made that joke. Like, there's a guy. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the guy that played Johnny Storm is actually kind of a good actor. Like, he plays the character pretty well, and surprisingly, he's like one of the only actors that has like an actual background playing in like some actual popular movies. He was in The Invisible Boy and The Boy Who Could Fly, which, now, I mean, he doesn't really do acting anymore. I think his last role was like in 2016, but he really doesn't do them that much. He only does them like as sequels to like old movies. Like, they'll come in for maybe a cameo. Because he decided to become a pastor. That's really lame. I think it's a really dumb thing to do, but whatever. And by the way, if you didn't get that joke, my dad's a pastor. You didn't know my dad's a pastor. So, I'm also pretty sure this is definitely a bootleg because of what it says on the back. I'm just gonna leave it out with these words because these are perfect. Unreleased to the general public and infamous for its poor quality. When geek circles, this Roger Corman adaptation of the Marvel Comics supergroup is an interesting cult item that ranks up there with the dismal Captain America feature and the cheap Hulk TV movies. The storyline follows the basic framework of the comic, with the exception of a few minor details, including the introduction of a new villain, the Jeweler, who directly becomes responsible for the team's mishap in space and takes liberty from another one of the comic's famous villains, the Mole Man, in reference to its underground popularity, Corman now regards it as his most profitable film that never saw release, while Marvel residents AVRAD reportedly burned Fox's only print. Got into the hands of me as somehow, so just let me rank it. Out of 10, it's a 1. I've only ever ranked one movie 0, so just telling you, just wait for that. Just wait for that. So, it's a 1. 1 out of 10. Bad. It's bad. It's really bad. I wouldn't recommend it. Unless you're a big fan of either B movies or Fantastic Four or Marvel movies in general. But, I would not. It's bad. It's pretty bad.